Hey guys, what's up? It's Emily, and today I'm going to be doing my A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas book talk. So this is the third and sort of final book to the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. It's finale of like these two main characters, of the main characters Feyre and Rhys, who you're reading from Feyre's point of view, but there are 3 more books coming out. I think the next one comes out in 2018. Of like different characters of the series, same worlds, same characters that you know, so I mean it's sort of the last book but not really the last book, if that makes any sense. So I actually have book talks of A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, which are the first 2 books, in a separate book talk, so I'll leave a link down below if you want to know what these books are about. But otherwise I'm just gonna go right into it. Bye people if you don't want to be spoiled. Bye. Oh my goodness gracious. I was a mess. I'm just gonna start talking about the ending because that's the most like dramatic part of like the entirety of this. Sarah J. Maas pulled this whole I'm gonna kill off characters but not really kill them off, and it made me so frustrated. Like, okay, I wasn't really sure what was happening with Amber, I couldn't tell if she was dead or if she just kind of disappeared, but she brought her back. And then the whole thing with Rhys, oh my gosh. Okay, so I was reading it and I had already been crying because Amber and I thought Nesta and Cassian were gonna die together, and I was crying from that too. So I was already kind of like crying, and I was reading this and Feyre was putting back together the cauldron, but Rhys was giving a lot of his power to do this, and I was just like, no, 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 no. I was freaking out already. And so then at the end, like she was like, she came out of it and she turned around and Rhys was just laying there on the ground, and I was just like, no, no. I mean, at least 30 seconds to build up the courage to turn the page. When I did, the first thing I saw was, and Rhys was dead. So I threw myself off my bed, ended up in the corner of my room, rocking back and forth crying, because I was so emotionally attached to Rhys and I wasn't really expecting Rhys to die. I don't know why. I just felt like Sarah J. Maas wouldn't do that. So I was freaking out. It took me a while to be able to pick myself back up and start reading again. I kept looking at the page and then like, I can't. And it was a mess. It was a mess. But you know, he's live and everything's okay, and Aaron came back. But it was not funny, Sarah J. Maas. It was not funny. You just probably laughing your ass off saying this is gonna be hilarious, we're gonna think Rhys is dead. But you know what? It wasn't funny. Probably was to her though. That wasn't nice. That was not nice at all, whatsoever. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting about the endings. I have a lot of notes to go through. Yay. I'm gonna start off by talking about Tamlin here, because Tamlin was really annoying throughout this entire book. Me and my friends hate him so much that we call him Tam Tam the douche canoe. Not even joking, that's just what we call him. We don't call him Tamlin. We go like, oh, isn't Tam Tam the douche canoe being so annoying? That's just how we refer to him. My notes say, I'm gonna read you my notes, is Tam Tam the douche canoe dash I hate him, in all capitals, and then later I added, the little bitch. Yeah, Sarah J. Maas kept doing this really annoying thing where like, we couldn't trust him at first, and then we could, he was part of the Alliance. But then we couldn't because he went back to Hybern. But then we could because he was a spy. And then you just didn't see him. And then boom, he redeemed himself, sort of, by getting Barons, I don't know, the High Lord of the Autumn Court's army to get, I don't know. But I was so annoyed. I'm just like, no, Sarah J. Maas, you made Tamlin a bad character. And I understand that he's complex and he's not like evil, but you made him like enough of an asshole that we don't like him. We don't want to see his redemption story. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants to see him redeemed. And it's really frustrating as a reader to keep seeing like, oh, he's doing this, and you're like, no, we don't like him, we don't care. In the beginning, I was really happy that we were not separated from Rhysand that long. We was what, like 128 pages, so it wasn't really bad. I was expecting it to be like half the book, but she did the Spring Court spying thing, made it very short, which I was really happy because I was not looking forward to reading the beginning half of this book, but it was really like the beginning little portion of the book. In my previous video, I had said my theory about what happened on the Kalananana thing, where Tamlin has to like, you know, sleep with somebody for spring to come or something like that. And I was thinking that Tamlin was going to sleep with Ianthe, and Sarah J. Maas said we have to deal with the consequences, so I thought Ianthe was going to be pregnant, and I was like, this is not okay. But, well, Lucien had to do it because Tamlin was just like, no. And so Lucien ended up sleeping with Ianthe. I was so mad. Just, okay, sorry. I really don't like her. Nobody likes her. I'm so happy she died. Lucien and Elaine were really adorable, but it wasn't like, it didn't satisfy me as much because Elaine was just kind of like pining over that human guy, Lord Grayson or whatever his name was. And I was just like, stop. And I understand she was gonna get married to him, but seriously, stop. And like, oh my god, they're so cute. I just want them to be together forever. And Lucian was so... Lucian! I forgot how much I loved Lucian, because in Akamath, we only see him for a little bit, and it's kind of annoying because he's trying to take her back to the Spring Court. Now we just see Lucian, and he's with the Night Court, and he's with Elaine, and it's the best. And I was actually really upset how lacking Lucian's character was. Like, we see him for like maybe the first 300 pages, and then the rest of the 400 he's off finding the lost queen Vessa or whatever her name is. And I was kind of really upset because I kind of just felt like Sarah J Maas was just kind of like taking the character and pushing him away so she didn't have to deal with him for a little bit, which I don't know if that's what happened, but this kind of felt like it was to me, and I didn't really necessarily like that because I felt like we could have expanded on Elaine and Lucian's relationship a little bit more. And I understand there was a lot of jam-packed into this book, but I don't know. I'm talking about Nesta and Cassian because I'm talking about ships right now. And oh my god, they're like my second OTP behind Rhys and Feyre. I ship them so hard, and I legit thought they were gonna die together, and I was not okay. I really love like the slow burn thing that's happening with their relationship, although it drives me insane because I'm just like I just want to smush their heads together. But they kissed, didn't they? Did they kiss? They kissed, right? Can't remember. Did they kiss? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they did, right? But I thought it was so adorable. And Nessa's character was a lot meaner than I thought she was gonna be in this book. And I understand that her character, she is very kind of mean and like tough like that. Like emotionally, doesn't let a lot of people in. But I kind of felt that like her character had taken a step back, which I kind of understand because the whole cauldron thing was really traumatic, and it was more traumatic than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I understand it was traumatic, but like the way that they were describing it, I didn't realize how horrible it was, and I thought that was really interesting. So like when Cassian kept getting hurt, because he got hurt so many times. Just Cassian's just going into battle, he's hurt. Next battle, he's hurt. He's got his wings shattered in Akamath. He gets like his wrist broken, and oh my god, that was really cute when Nesta was like trying to help him, and then they almost kissed, but then like Morris just like, hello. And then Cassian gets like, what is, like slashed, I guess? And he was bleeding a lot, so he was really weak. And and oh my gosh, especially when Nesta realized where the cauldron was going to fire, and she kept screaming Cassian's name just so he would like come. That was really cute too, and I just really loved, oh my god, and I was crying so hard in that scene where they were like gonna die for each other, and Cassian just kept saying, oh, go, run. I can't, I ship them so hard. So now I'm gonna talk about Rhys and Feyre, because I don't know, okay, so I mean, of course in ACOTAR we don't really see them. It's kind of like Rhys is just kind of there, and they have this kind of like, I mean, the whole bond thing happened, like the bargain bond happens and all that stuff, and we don't really know what to think of Rhys. And then Akamath, of course, we get to see them kind of come into the relationship, and it's really cute and adorable. But I love how in this book they're like already like, you know, super close. I don't know, it just made me really happy. That's just how the relationship has progressed. So now it's just like they're just together. It really makes me happy, because typically what happens in books is that either they're a love triangle or they're having relationship problems, and there wasn't that in the book, which made me extremely happy. They were just together, and it was great, and they were together throughout the entire thing. Even when Feyre was in Spring Court, they were still communicating, and they're still together, which made me happy. So I'm gonna talk about this whole Moore situation. So I knew at some point that Sarah J Maas had said that she was gonna have a lesbian character in the series, and for a while I was thinking it was gonna be Amren, because Amren, but it ended up being Moore, which I don't have problems with that, except that I don't really think, I don't know, it kind of came up suddenly, and I mean I can see it, but like it was really random. I think I did not like how Moore kept it a secret for 500 years, and I understand like given her past and everything with her father and where she came from, but 500 years she has been with the inner circle for a really long time. She just hasn't told anybody, which makes me really upset. And how she knows Feyre for 6 months and tells her, and yet she doesn't tell Azriel, who she knows is in love with her, and just keeps kind of like leading him on. I mean, not leading him on because she's just kind of like sleeping with other guys to make it seem like she doesn't want him, but it's different if it's just that she's with like other guys but not really like with other guys, than if she tells him, hey, I'm not actually into guys, That's completely different. And it makes me really angry because Azriel is so like in love with her and she knows it, and it makes me very like upset about that. And I was also kind of mad at Feyre too, because she was just like, I mean, I understand, like, Feyre was saying, like, I got your back, I understand, blah, 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 which, I mean, it's great and everything, but then Feyre was like, I'll be there to support you if you decide to tell Azriel tomorrow or in another 500 years. So I'm like, wait, Feyre, you're okay with keeping Azriel in the dark about something that he's so, like, that's so important to him for 1,000 years? That's just really kind of crazy, and I did not like that. It made me really upset because I love Azriel, and I'm just like, he does not deserve that. I'm like, more you want to be a lesbian? Go ahead. Cool, good for you, but you should have told people instead of just letting Azriel just be in love with you for 500 years. I mean, 500 years he's been pining after more. And oh, no. I'm a lesbian. What? More? I don't know, that just made me really angry, and I was very kind of upset about that. And I shipped Mor and Azriel really hard too, and I was really annoyed with Sarah J Maas kind of like leading us into this relationship because there's been so many fan arts and everything, and everybody really shipped it, and now Agor is just like, haha, joke's on you, and it's just kind of like, what? No. And now, who's Azriel gonna be with? Poor Azriel, like, I forgot how much I loved Azriel reading this book. He's amazing. I love him so much. I thought it was really interesting how the cauldron gave Elaine powers, and then yet Nesta had to take it. We don't really know if they still have their powers from the cauldron because it broke. Nesta still have that power in her? Does Elaine still see the future? Who knows? That's a question that I still kind of have that I hope is, you know, mentioned in the next book. I was really annoyed with the lack of communication in this book too. How, like, people were kind of keeping secrets from the inner circle. Like, Feyre didn't tell Amryn about going to see the prison of Bone Carver. How Rhys didn't really tell anybody about bringing the Weaver into battle, which was a good surprise. It was like, holy crap! But, like, I don't know, I was kind of annoyed with, like, the miscommunication, and I really hate that. But, I mean, it didn't blow up like I thought it was going to be, so I mean, that was okay. But still, like, they're the inner circle. They tell each other everything, except Mor. So really angry. And I also kind of thought Mor was kind of being very mean, different, kind of bitchy a little bit. I don't know, I just didn't like the way she was doing, like, things that she was treating Nesta, and the way she was kind of snapping at Feyre at some points. I just didn't like it, and I was like, Mor, I thought you were a nicer person than this. I am definitely wondering who the next books are going to be about. I really want one on Nesta and Cassian because they're adorable. I feel like definitely one of them is probably going to be Lucien, because we still have to deal with Lucien and Elaine's relationship, plus that we know that Elien, or however you say his name, the High Lord of the Day Court, is his actual father and not Buron or whatever. And I also kind of want to see more of his brother, so I'm really hoping that one of these next 3 books or whatever is going to focus on Lucien, so I feel like there's a lot more we can explore with, especially his character. It could be about Amryn for all we know. I don't know, it could be about one of the other High Lords, and like, Vivienne and the High Lord of the Winter Court. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Who knows? It could be basically about anyone, and that kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. Oh no, I definitely want a book about Azriel too. I want Azriel to find somebody. I want him to find his mate, and I just want him to be happy. This whole Mor thing's gonna be terrible. We still have to figure that out. I mean, Mor still has to tell Azriel that she's not into him. So I guess that's it for Court of Wings and Ruin. I really love this cover. Like, I really love the cover. I'm really excited for Sarah J Maas to announce who the characters are going to be in the next books. I really want a Nesta and Cassian one. I want one about Azriel. Poor baby Azriel. And I definitely want one on, because I feel like you could do a lot. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be one on Lucien. Because, I mean, there's so many things, like, left unanswered with, like, that could surround Lucien. Well, I think that's actually it for this book talk. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you whenever I make a new video.